What if I told you that everything you've been taught about building wealth, save your money, get out of debt, climb the ladder, is precisely what's keeping you poor? What if the secret to creating real generational wealth wasn't about using your money, but about using other people's money? Most people spend their lives working for money, trading their time for a paycheck, and fearing debt like the plague. But when you understand the game, you can flip that script and have money and debt start working for you, not the other way around. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna give you the playbook. You're gonna learn the holy trinity of approvals that makes banks want to give you money, how to leverage OPM, other people's money, to build assets that pay you every single month, and the exact strategy to get $100K in funding and turn it into streams of passive income. My name's Colin Dedelli, and I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was just 13 years old, and I became obsessed with all things credit, finance, and investing. I even followed in Robert Kiyosaki's footsteps and enlisted in the Marine Corps when I turned 18, where I witnessed firsthand what Rich Dad's book said, that they don't teach financial education in school. The Marines to my left and right were defaulting on cars and credit cards, so I got certified in credit repair to fix their credit. And fast forward to today, I run an 8-figure credit repair and funding business, and I make these videos to help you guys master your credit. All right, guys, to start, we need to dismantle the biggest lie you've been told about debt so you can stop seeing it as a threat and start using it as your most powerful tool for building wealth. Most people avoid debt with a 6-foot pole. They fear it, and if it shows up, they panic. But the wealthy treat debt like a strategic partner. It's a powerful ally that, when respected and directed, does all the heavy lifting for you. When I was a young Marine, I met my platoon leader who, on the same salary as me, owned a thriving portfolio of rental properties. And I asked him how he did it. And he said, it's not about how much you make, it's about how you use what you make. He wasn't using his own money. He was using the bank's money. He understood that debt is only dangerous when you're working for the debt instead of the debt working for you. He was actually able to use the FHA to buy a multi-family unit. He lived in one and he rented out the others, called house hacking. But just because the wealthy use debt as an ally doesn't mean every kind of debt should be used. Bad debt is when you use a credit card for a vacation or depreciating luxury item. The debt serves consumption. Good debt is when you use a 0% business credit card, for example, to buy inventory for your e-commerce store, or an SBA loan to acquire a cash-flowing business in mergers and acquisitions. The debt serves production and acquires an asset. With how almost everyone is raised, I know how hard it is to change your viewpoint on debt. That's why I always teach my students and clients to start with changing how they see it in 3 steps. Step 1, the mindset shift. Look at your finances and identify any bad debt, consumer debt, and make a plan to eliminate it, get rid of it. This is the foundation. Step 2, identify opportunities. Start thinking about what assets you could acquire if you had capital. Could you buy a duplex, a small business, or inventory? Write it down. Step 3, internalize the philosophy. Repeat this. Funding without a plan is just debt. Funding with a plan is capital. Your goal isn't to get into debt, it's to raise capital. Listen, guys, if you've been struggling with bad credit or lack of business funding for years, and you just want my team to take care of everything for you, click the link in the description and pin comment. My team will offer you a free consult where we provide our white glove credit repair service with a guarantee or get you access to business funding. But how do you get the banks to give you this good debt or capital? It's not about walking in and asking nicely, please. You need to speak their language. So let me show you the holy trinity of approvals that unlocks the vault. Banks are risk averse. They're looking for specific signals that you're a safe bet to lend to. And these signals are what I call the holy trinity of approvals. Pillar number 1 is business structure. You need to have a separate legal entity. An LLC is going to be the best for most people. A sole proprietorship is you, and an LLC is a business. Banks lend to businesses. Your industry code also matters. A trucking company is going to be very high risk, right? And it might get you denied. But a logistics consulting firm is much lower risk and can get you approved, even if they do similar work. So you want to choose a neutral, fundable name and NAS code. Avoid real estate, trucking, or anything that screams high risk. Think holdings, consulting, marketing, or enterprises. Pillar number 2 is your credit health. Your credit profile is your most valuable financial asset. It is literally your resume for money. You need a 700 plus credit score to be able to qualify for the best funding. Pay your bills on time, keep utilization below 10%, and maintain a healthy mix of accounts and make sure there's no negatives on there, guys. Pillar 3 is banking relationships. Relationships with banks are built before you need access to money. Open business checking accounts with 3 to 5 major national banks like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, PNC, Truist, etc. Let them see your cash flow. Build rapport with the bankers. They're more likely to lend to a familiar face than a stranger. Now that you know the holy trinity of approvals, here's how to get started. Step 1, structure your business. Go to your Secretary of State website or use Busy and file for an LLC with a generic name. Then go to IRS website and get your free EIN letter. This takes less than an hour to do. Step 2, pull your credit report. Use a service like IdentityIQ to get all 3 bureaus for just $1. Know your score, identify any negatives at all, and do everything you can to improve your scores. Step 3, go ahead, open some business bank accounts. Take your LLC and your EIN documents, go ahead, open a business checking account, and start running any business-related income and expenses through these. This is how you negotiate from a position of strength. Banks lend most to those who don't desperately need it. Once you have the holy trinity in place, you're seen as fundable. Now it's time to go get the money. But applying randomly is going to get you denied. And I'm going to show you how to strategically stack credit to get 10 times the funding in a single week or 2. Now, here's what they don't tell you. Not all banks pull your credit report from the same credit bureau. Bank A might use Experian, whereas Bank B might use TransUnion, and Bank C might use Equifax. If you apply to all 3 banks within a short window, about a week or 2, they each see a fresh credit report without the inquiries from the other applications. This allows you to get multiple approvals before the system updates. I've done this with my students and clients for years, and this is what we call credit stacking. Here's a high-level overview of how we do it. First, you're going to want to research which bureau your target bank pulls from. You could go to forums like MyFICO. These are great for this, or even go to the Credit Pulls database online. And you're going to want to group them by bureau. Find 2 to 3 banks that pull Experian, 2 to 3 that pull Equifax, and 2 to 3 that pull TransUnion, and you're going to apply for them and sequence them by alternating the bureaus. First, you could do Chase with Experian, then US Bank with TransUnion, and then a bank like Truist for an Equifax approval. This is how you could secure $50 to $100 or even $200,000 in 0% interest funding in a matter of a couple days. And this is all no-doc business funding. Now remember, we're raising capital, not debt. Once you're able to secure funding this way, there's several ways to transform it into income or passive cash flow. Path number 1 is real estate. You could use $20,000 or $30,000 from your 0% funding as a down payment on a Section 8 rental property. This is government-backed rent, giving you consistent cash flow. That cash flow pays the mortgage and the minimum payments on the credit cards while you cash flow and build equity. Path number 2, mergers and acquisitions. There's literally a tsunami of baby boomers retiring and selling their profitable businesses, and you can use an SBA 7A loan to buy a business with as little as 10% down. And you can use your stacked 0% business cards for that 10% down payment. And now you own a cash flowing asset using none of your own money. Path number 3, I love trading algorithms. These are for those who want hands-off passive income. You can use a portion of the funding to license a proven trading algorithm. These bots trade for you, aiming for consistent returns, 5 to 10% per month, and sometimes even more. They could chunk down your debt and cash flow and generate a profit. This is how you go from working for your money to having your money work for you. But executing this perfectly, especially removing old negative items from your credit report or doing the credit stacking sequence, can be very tricky. And one mistake can really set you back a couple months. That's why I've created this video where I do a deep dive into the legal loopholes of the FCRA that allow you to remove almost any negative item in as little as 30 days. As always, guys, links for credit repair and business funding are in the pinned comment and the description below. Be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more value. It's Credit with Colin. I'll see you guys on the next one.